Hi everyone, my name is John Astor. I am the Whistleblower Act on Facebook. You can search me and you'll find me under Whistleblower Act. I'm actually raising this video and you can see from the title that I intend in raising a book, and I'll do it as a video first and then I'll actually do it as a book. But it's how to dupe the family law court system, steal the children and make your men pay. Now, this is acceptable within a family law court. I will prove it. I'll prove how corrupt it is and how it is to your benefit as mainly a woman. The reason I say a woman is I've got proof that it happens to 5 men to 1 woman. So basically this video is done so that if you can actually teach how criminal these family courts are, well then you're best off hearing it from a person who's been utterly destroyed by the family courts. I made a promise. The reason for this book is I made a promise on the 30th of April 2009 and I emailed the Federal Attorney General, State Attorney General, my state member, my federal member and other senior dignitaries, including the Commissioner for Legal Services, and basically I told them that if they weren't going to deal with the criminal activity of a certain solicitor and a children's lawyer, that I was going to expose what's happening. Since then things have got a lot worse and basically I'm without seeing my daughter. Now, it doesn't matter what country you're viewing this from. It doesn't matter if you're USA, Canada, New Zealand, UK or Australia. The same court system happens in every country. I'm going to be using words such as, I'll say solicitor, some people will know it as lawyer. I'll be saying barrister, where others will know it as attorney. I'll say a justice of the peace, which is a notary public. Domestic violence order is like a police citation where basically there is a mother and a father in a violent situation. Police come and they raise orders. So we call it a domestic violence order. In other countries it is it has different names, including states of Australia. Magistrate is a form of judge. Family court, well, everyone knows what a family court is. Here we also call them federal magistrates courts. So I'll be talking about a federal magistrate and you'll understand what I mean. Within this, there's going to be approximately initially 115 segments, and then I'll actually put it all together. But you may as well see it as it's being generated, on the hopes that the Director of Public Prosecutions will actually get a copy of this and will decide to actually listen and or for someone to actually deal with this matter and investigate it with my assistance to prove that there is an enormous amount of fraud on the court. I'll be going through 115 tactics used by judges, lawyers, psychiatrists and family court reporters. I'll be dealing with psychiatrists and how they're used and when they're used, and if it's appropriate, depending on the money situation of the actual parties, if a psychiatrist is going to be used. I'm going to be explaining how legal aid is used. Now, legal aid we have in Australia called legal aid. In other countries it's whoever looks after the funding for your lawyers. So in Australia we term that, it's called an organisation called legal aid. I'm going to explain to you how funding, and I suggest you check this out in other countries as well, how funding is paid by legal aid. For the mother's lawyer, the mother's barrister is paid by legal aid, or the interpreters. Now, it doesn't matter if you need an interpreter or not. If you're going to dupe the system, get yourself an interpreter, because basically the government pay for it, and it's like a Mackenzie friend. Look it up if you don't understand what a Mackenzie friend is. Basically, it's basically you have the same McKenzie friend all the time, and it just makes it a little bit more comfortable, especially when you're going to court, 17 times. It gets a bit monotonous, so you may as well have a friend that the government pay for. And it doesn't matter if you speak perfect English or even work for the Department of Justice, as my ex does. Sounds like a conflict of interest, but according to my government, no, it's not a conflict of interest. Mediation conference, how the organiser, and it's held within legal aid, how the children's lawyer is paid by legal aid, the mother's, the psychiatrist is chosen by legal aid and paid for by legal aid, and they always use the same one. For this one that I had, has been working for the system for over 20 years. The family report writer is chosen and paid for by legal aid, and in fact the lawyer that you have to have an external one. So the idea is get in there as quickly as possible, that way you can actually have an internal legal aid supporter. And what happens is the father then actually has to get external legal aid help, and of course that's paid by legal aid. But as you'll see, the more false allegations that you have in your case against the father, well then basically they go, well, this isn't proved, so it looks like you're going to lose, so we're going to cut your legal aid. So that's really good for to know that up front. Then also the property assessors, for carving up, divvying up the house. That's also chosen by legal aid and sometimes even paid for by legal aid. And so yeah, that's one part of it that I'll be explaining. I'll also be explaining when to use approximately, well, what happened in my case is what I state is over 300 false allegations, and basically what to put in. So even though it might be a false allegation, you antagonize the situation even more in that you don't give dates or names of people, and so this way it causes friction, and that the father can't prove anything because he hasn't been given any of the facts. I'll be talking about the separation of powers between courts and government, how fathers can't get help whatsoever, how lawyers can be removed even during trials, and I'll be going on how I'm denied even a lawyer, and I'm sure there'll be quite a few ladies out there who'll be laughing at that, and how transcripts are altered to actually support one person. So whoever gets the child in the beginning, it's all downhill from there, and I'll prove that 100%. Also, just know for your own advantage that there is help out there. Department of Women's Legal Aid. There is no Department of Men's Legal Aid, so just know that. There's a Department of Women's Affairs, but there is no Department of Men's Affairs. So, in Australia, it is pretty well biased for the women. So just know that basically you've got a really good chance. And in fact, 1/3 of all fathers are removed from children altogether. And I'll prove that over the period and duration of these videos that basically, and having proofs, that I've actually done nothing wrong. I would have done this in the courtroom, but basically that was denied. Basically denied. I'll go into that. How to destroy your man, and making sure that you are sitting pretty, that you're not stressed at all, that if you've got 100% care for your child and you get 100% legals taken care of, well then pretty well, your man's going to be stressed. And so when he goes into the courtroom, he's stressed, and especially when it goes on for 4 years, whereas you haven't got a problem if you follow my procedure. How money is dispersed between the State Attorney General's office and the Federal Attorney General's office. This is divvying up, of course, your house. How lawyers are there to ensure that there's fraud on the court and it constantly is causing damage and grief to your man, including, you know, if you're good at it, you can torture them, and sometimes it even causes death. How there is no government agency in Australia that actually deals with torture, which I found that was quite interesting. And how lawyers and magistrates can abuse their positions of power. I'll be explaining that. How judges are not there for the children, and how biased the system is to one party of a family court proceedings. Chapter 1, basically I'll be dealing with how to raise false police statements and the do's and don'ts when actually raising those false police statements. You don't need to have any evidence whatsoever, and in fact you're best off having it that if you can prove and if you've got an honest man who will actually advise that yes and admits to throwing an envelope, that's all that is necessary for the police, and they have to act, and they have to actually raise a domestic violence order. Probably don't do what the mother did, and she waved around knives and pointing at a child and that type of thing. So that's probably a don't, but don't worry, even if you have, basically I'll step you through that, how to not worry about those sort of things. It's important for you to know that you're not going to get in trouble for raising false allegations to police. In fact, I have gone myself that I've said that there is false police statements and false affidavits, and I've tried to I've gone to several police stations trying to actually get them to help. And in fact, probably for this video I'll actually go into several police stations with the video recorder on, and I'll be saying, look, I've got fraud, false allegations within some affidavits, I would like to report them. And the first question guaranteed that the police will ask is it to do with a family court case, or words to that effect? And you will be honest and you'll say yes, and they'll say, well, I'm sorry,